Welcome to Brave Healer Productions. It's time to experience what's possible. So, what if there's something you haven't learned yet that could change everything? Welcome, everyone. I'm Laura DeFranco, the CEO of Brave Healer Productions, where we are helping the world experience what's possible. And here today to help me with that mission are some of the amazing authors of one of our newest books. This is called The Intuitive Entrepreneur, Deeper Connections for Soul-Driven Success. So we're going to have a juicy conversation today with these authors, but I have a huge shout out to Deb DeCelle today. She is the lead author of this expert collaboration. And Deb, thank you so much. Yes, all the party hats, all the hearts, you guys, just do it all. Your mission and vision for this book was so huge. We would not be here without you. I so appreciate the way that you gathered this stellar expert author cast around you. And I cannot wait to share this book. So who do I have in my Zoom room today? You are going to meet Julie Speechens. She is the creator and host of Soul Journey Sundays. She's a Karuna Reiki Master teacher, certified medical Reiki Master, and the US PR assistant to Tony Stockwell. All right, we're going to have to ask you about that later. Lisa Atanasio is the owner of Heavenly Soul and Spirit, working as an evidential medium and psychic. I've got Shannon Mitchell with me. She's a folk herbalist, plant medium, and owner of Shannon Mitchell Wellness, where she teaches others how to use the natural world to connect with their unique plant spirit guides. And Michelle Cutler is here. She's a psychic medium, intuitive life coach, mentor, and the founder of Walk the Path Within, which helps people deepen their intuition, embrace their soul's wisdom, and find healing through nature's wisdom. Y'all have a few things in common. I love it when I get y'all here and read those bios and I'm like, oh, the Zoom puts you all together today on purpose. I love it. Julie, we're going to start this party off with you. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
Hi, Laura. Thank you so much for having me on. Yeah, I think so many of us are eager to tune into that inner voice, our intuition. And I think that an important part of that is learning to discern what is intuition and what is the inner critic, the mean girl. They sound very different once you learn the difference. One is based on love and sounds very calm and compassionate and confident, and one is based on your fears and your insecurities. And so in my chapter, that's something I address that's really been important to me in my journey.
Well, you just opened us up with what I think is one of the most important things about this journey, and that is that kind of awareness. I call it ninja levels. If you can do what she just said, you got this. Like, you're going to have miracles show up in your life. So thank you for starting off with that particular subject. Discernment
Thanks.
is one of my favorite words when I talk about awareness. So you just made it sound so easy though, right? So we've got this inner critic over
Yeah.
here, and we've got this deeper voice, this intuitive voice. What do you think was one of the first things that helped you with that discernment when you were figuring this out for yourself?
For me, it was a couple of things. Of course, Reiki is my home base. It's what opened up my intuition in my early 40s. And it was really the feeling of it, learning that our inner voice so often is diminishing, is hypercritical. It does not serve us. A lot of the times, it's not even saying things that are true. And when I first really tuned into that, the voice of spirit, that heart-centered, soul-abundant feeling, it just, I realized it felt so different. It felt like anything was possible if I could just turn down the volume on my own inner voice, the inner mean girl, if you will. And then it made room for all the magic to happen.
And you put your hand on your chest, which is what I often do too, because those feelings that you're talking about are literal feelings inside your body tissue. You can feel
Yes,
expansive or contracted, right? I love that
yes,
description. Yeah, good.
100%.
Um, you guys, today's going to be full of these kind of golden nuggets. I mean, that one again that we started with was a total life and game changer for me. And all of these authors stepped up to share real stories with you, but also they're going to be sharing their master teachings. They've been around a minute and they've learned a thing or two. And let's keep going with this. Julie, thank you for saying yes to this project and for being here today.
Thank you.
Lisa, you're up next. Tell us a little bit of the why behind your chapter.
So when I wrote my chapter, I've always had spirit with me since I was young, but it's the moment you zone in is the name of my chapter. And that's really about spirit. So whatever you're doing that you're zoning into, that is with the universe, that's with spirit. So if you're a basketball player, you're zoning in at that time. If you play the viola, you're zoning in. Nothing else matters in that moment. If you're a medium, I think of nothing else in that moment but that reading. It's so powerful when you think of those words, zoning in. So that's where I started with my chapter, but then I started with the why. So empowering yourself with mindfulness. So what is that? That's really disconnecting from the world. So that is also important because that's the ego. Our ego tells us a lot of negative things. It's a lower vibration. So when we get to ego and when we get to love, that's a higher vibration. So we need time for ourselves to just step away, observe a situation, but don't absorb the situation. A lot of us do that. We live in fear. So fear is, I know you're going to cut me off in 1 second, but fear is a belief system about worrying. And if we live in fear, we're living in the future as well as the past. And I try to tell people not to do that. And that's why it's called mindfulness. So thank you so much, Laura. I
Thank
tried
you.
to get that all in.
Again, you did a great job. I don't want to cut you off. I actually want to rewind to something you said because
Okay.
you made me think of a question. So, okay, I'm the basketball player and I'm zoning in. How do
Mm-hmm.
you know? I mean, I'm assuming you're saying I'm zoning into something I love that I'm meant to do that is my purpose. But let's say people wake up in a profession and they're zoning in that day. They're not thinking of anything else, but really it's not aligned. Do you know you know what I'm asking there? It's like it's
Yeah.
back to what Julie was saying about discernment and
Mm-hmm.
hearing the messages. What do you want to say about that?
I want to say people know it and they're in their zone. If you're not in alignment, like body, mind, and soul, you're disconnected. It's a feeling of not, you're having an off day. You're not playing basketball, you're not doing the right thing, you're not playing the music right, you're having a bad reading, you're not being successful. When you're aligned with the universe, you know. It's a knowing. Everybody has it. So that is the zone.
Nice.
Yep.
Thank you for
Thank,
more explanation there.
yeah, thank you so much.
All right, Michelle, your turn is up. Tell us the why behind your chapter.
Thank you, Laura. So I think the overall theme of my chapter is that when you heal yourself, then you heal your craft. And I found the healing through nature. So I often tell my students when you heal the medium, you heal the mediumship. And that goes for anything, such as if you heal the artist, you heal the art. If you heal the leader, you heal the leadership. So I found that my modality and my way of healing was that connection through nature. And I basically kind of go through and tell how nature was so abundant in my life. But then when I felt an absence of nature, it really highlighted how important it was to me. And I like to pass that along to other people that nature has messages for us. It's there to support us and it's there to be there for us when we need it the most.
It's one of my favorite topics. I have a feeling that Shannon is going to be talking about this too. And I think all of us in this room would say that nature is one of those ways we reconnect to the place, right? But for me, it's a walk in the woods sometimes. Sometimes all I have to do, I did it today. I had a big enough break to walk outside and allow my face to feel the sunshine. It only took a couple of deep breaths, but man, was it a good break when I remembered to do that. Give me a version that you do, Michelle.
Very much the same thing and in different type of scenarios. So I'm very lucky to live on a little parcel of land. So there's times where I just step outside like you did, maybe even take a walk, and I listen. So I listen to the birds. I use my sight to see if there's any scurrying about of squirrels or other animals that have been visiting. And those little things recharges me. It's almost like plugging right on into the electricity. So those are the things that I do to help recharge myself. But I also too listen for the messages. So one time I found a bat came into my barn. And so I went and looked up what a bat meant. And the exact thing that I was going through is the message that was brought to me that day. So again, it's that listening for the messages from nature.
Oh my gosh, I wonder which books you guys have, but is it the Animal Spirit Guides book? There's one, yeah, it's what everyone's nodding in case you aren't watching the video right now, you guys, but that is my favorite like Bible animal book. I have it and I carry it around the house with me too, because you never know what you're going to see, when you're going to see it. I had a bumblebees show up inside the house this week and I'm like, all right, I'm going to look, I'm getting my book. Michelle, thank you for being here. Thanks for saying yes to this project.
Thank you.
Shannon, I want to hear your why behind your chapter. Are you ready?
Yeah, ready as I'll ever be. Thank you. So sure, yeah. So some of the things I'll share are likely going to overlap or be similar to Michelle. And yeah, I think the why for me was I feel like kind of culturally, societally, we're at a place right now where I think a lot of people are feeling disconnected. There's a very big feeling of collective longing for more connection, for more soul almost. I think, technology has really kind of pulled us out of our bodies. And I think reconnecting with the earth really helps us to kind of bridge that gap and fix that severance that has kind of effectively happened in the last maybe 100 years of us living away from the land. So I wanted to write this chapter to really help people understand and remind them that they can do exactly what Michelle had said and simply be outside or sitting in the grass or be with nature to build these deeper relationships, to hear these messages, and then to also access deeper levels of healing for themselves through that knowledge, through that relationship.
I mean, there's some actual science about this too, you guys. Like if you have read the book Earthing, that's a little taste. Yeah. What else do you want people to know about that? Like, what is it? There are electrons and protons. There's some science.
Yeah, so I think there's that piece, there's like that part of it, the electrons, but then there's also a lot of benefit for the central nervous system. So helping to regulate, re-regulate, helping to ground, those kinds of things. Also, serotonin is produced by being outside. Endorphins are produced. That along with exercise is I guess research has shown is as effective as some SSRIs and things like that. So there's a good case to be made for spending time outdoors and kind of getting your feet in the soil.
My latest craze is my circadian glasses, you guys, for the artificial light. So, and like, this is a whole thing. We could talk for an hour about this one thing alone, right? This is an important topic because of the tech, the high tech, all the screens, all the things we're doing. And we're under all, oh my gosh, just so much bombardment of screens and artificial light. Yeah, I think sometimes I just want to say to people, get your ass outside, people. you know?
I agree. I think, I think it really, to your point, it really pulls you out of the body. So we're really kind of living up in the head, outside of the body. And there's just that, that true disconnect. And I think it overwhelms us. I don't think we were necessarily ready for the level of interaction we have with technology that we do now.
Yes, where the awareness is building now. I think it's going to move in a better direction. But man, I think there's going to be a whole generation of, I know it's my kiddos, my 20 somethings who are going to, they're going to need some help. Oh my gosh, Shannon, thank you so much. Thanks for saying yes to this and for being here today. To all four of you, thank you for taking my challenge to get that vulnerable story on paper. And then you guys, these authors are stepping up again with their master teachings for you in the second parts of their chapters. This book is full of ways to connect. And when I want to talk next about, this is the intuitive entrepreneur. This is not your ordinary entrepreneur book. And that means something to everyone, maybe something a little bit different. Lisa, I'm going to start with you. What does that mean to you to be an entrepreneur who is intuitive, who uses that superpower? What does that look like on the day-to-day for you?
So for me, when I use my intuitiveness, I set my intention, I set my intention for the day. I use imagery. I use my breath. I really start off that way.
I know how you feel with that today.
You're right with the water. Usually for me, that's spirit. So I know I have a spirit in here. It's usually my grandmother. But the intuitive really was, I can do this. I have the confidence to build this, heavenly soul and spirit. I got the education. I got the confidence. I had everything saying, hey, maybe you shouldn't do this. But I knew that if I kept going, I would build this business and I'd be successful with that high vibration. And I had everything in that ego to say, don't do it. But having my family love, having my intuitive psychic powers, whatever you want to call it, really I just kept going forward with that driven success. And knowing that there is a plan and to trust the process.
I love that. Thank you for kicking off that question so brilliantly. Michelle, I want to hear your answer to this. What does it even mean to be an intuitive entrepreneur? What's it meant for you?
Absolutely. So I think kind of following Lisa is that, we have this human side of us, which is planning everything. We're trying to post on social media. We're trying to get our word out there, and we're very stuck in the human side. But we also have this soul side of us. And that soul side of us is where that intuition lays. So we want to be able to balance that human side of us because we need that drive and get the list done and do the to-do list. But we also need that soul side of us where we can nurture our businesses, where we can listen to the soul of our businesses and bring it forward into the world. So for me, it's balancing that human side of myself and then that soul side of myself. And hopefully they meet in the middle and support each other.
Yes, for sure. That's, I think one of the goals is the balance. I love that you said the business, the soul of the business. Somebody else said that to me the other day, like, your business has a soul too. Like, and let's talk to that soul and see what it needs right now. I'm like, okay, I don't think I've done that before. Being with you all, this particular group of authors, there's a lot of things I haven't heard before, done before in terms of just the psychic realms and all y'all's deep connection to that. You take the trust and the strategy of it to a whole nother level. I feel like I'm in the playground right now with all these amazing people. Shannon, what's your answer to this? What does it mean to you to be an intuitive entrepreneur?
Sure. So for me, stepping into a business was actually almost the result of like a mini dark night of the soul. I had had a big one in my 20s, and then, you know, a few years ago I had gotten really, really depressed and in this place where it wasn't just like seasonal depression. I was like, no, there's like something soulful happening where I felt this sorrow for putting off the dream. I had kept putting off this had been a vision and wanted to be birthed, and I just kept putting it off, and it was almost like extinguishing my like life force. My chi was like disappearing. So it felt like less of really a decision and more of like, oh, I have to, like, I have to do this. And it also is a continuous process of healing, self-healing, because putting ourselves out there, for me, being vulnerable, being seen has been such a significant accomplishment to be able to continue to be seen and be held by others and face that fear. So for me, it's been as much about, you know, providing this to other people and in service of others as it has been healing my own woundings and evolving my own soul and my path and journey. So
Thank you for that answer. Because, you know, I'll say out loud to a lot of people, you don't really know what you're signing up for when you decide to be an entrepreneur. And really what it is a massive self-development journey that's, you know, whether you like it or not, you're on it. And here we go, right? Here's the ride. Yeah, I love that. All right, Julie, how about you for this question? What's it mean to you to be an intuitive entrepreneur?
Well, Lisa touched on courage and then Shannon touched on vulnerability, and that was exactly where I was headed. So thank you for that segue. For me, it's a trust fall. Every day, every reading, every event I create, every retreat I put together, it's this intention and hope and trust and some patience, which is tough for many of us, I think, that it is the right thing to do, that people will show up, that my love, my offerings will be graciously received. I think, especially for a lot of us, we tended to grow up becoming very shielded and guarded and energetically defensive, right? Because we were empathic but didn't know what to do about it, something like that. So for me, learning to feel safe, peeling back those layers and really connecting with people soul to soul, heart to heart. That was an incredible part of the journey for me. And as you said, it is such a healing journey for each and every one of us every day, bringing our vision to life, endeavoring to become a clear channel for spirit to serve for everyone's highest good. But it's so much better than the corporate world. I can't even tell you. I was an IT project manager. And so this shift from corporate to cosmic has just brought life back to my life.
Corporate to cosmic. There's a few of you, more than a few in this book who have made that shift. Oh man, it takes something to take that risk and leave it all and go over here and do this magical thing. You know, I love the word cosmic to describe that. Okay, so each of you are teaching a master tool in this book, and I want you to have a minute to give us a nugget about it. So, Michelle, what's the one most important thing you want people to know about awakening to their true selves? This is part of your chapter title.
Yeah, thank you. So the tool that I teach is about connecting into the seasons. And this kind of started with I was very frustrated trying to get my quarterly planning done, and it just wasn't resonating with me. So I was working with a business coach, and she said, well, how would you do it? And I said, I would break it up into months, into seasons. And so I started going through what was important in each season and then being able to plan it that way. So, for instance, winter is a time of rest and reflection. And so if we take that time in winter to do those things, then we'll be ready to plant the seeds and to start moving forward in spring. So that's what my tool is about, is honoring the seasons and being able to connect in with them so that we can connect more with the earth and nature and our true selves, because we are nature. And when we connect into nature, then we connect into our true selves.
This is going to be a juicy tool for you all. I can't wait to share this book with everybody. Oh my gosh, yes, love, love, love. Seasons are a little bit more in my life in terms of my way I look at things, and moon cycles are more in my life, and I'm just paying more attention. And it's just, when things, for me, when things come at me 3 times in a row, I'm like, all right, I'm paying attention. That's my thing. So, Shannon, what's the most important thing you want people to know about healing burnout?
Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to say as an aside, Michelle, I love that about the seasons. I love that. So I think with burnout, yeah. So I personally had just spent such a long time of my life, almost a decade, in like basically fight or flight in my professional career, my personal life. And it just, really kind of came crashing down. And I think there's also kind of with the wellness industry, there's some materialism, like you have to pay this money or you have to do all these things in order to reach this place of peace or inner peace. And I just wanted people to know with this tool that you don't need to do anything. You can lay in the grass and meditate with this dandelion, or you can put your hands on a tree and really kind of connect, or you can ingest plants as a tea or as a remedy, to really start to hear their messages, to really start to hear what the healing is for you, and really kind of get that physiological healing from the medicinal properties of the plant, but also the energetic healing from that plant's personality and its gifts that it wants to provide and how it wants to be in relationship with us. So I just want people to know that it's accessible. It's always accessible, and the earth is always there and abundant to provide. So
yeah, and it always has been, right? I feel like we're
exactly.
circling back around to this education again, which I love. And I love that you're part of doing that, helping people with that. Julie, for you, what's the most important thing you want people to know about becoming an epic collaborator? I love this.
I would say that your thoughts and your emotions are a choice. And learning to understand that you don't have to believe everything you think. It doesn't all serve you. You can take your power back, step out of those thought emotion loops that don't serve. And so the tool that I teach in my book is the power of positive affirmation. That idea, we all know, right? Law of attraction, we get back what we put out there. And it starts with you. And honestly, right, it's the only thing we can actually control in this crazy life is what's happening up here. And so learning to catch yourself when you're going into those old scripts, 98% of our thoughts we've thought before. And I love the study of the neurochemistry of our thoughts and our emotions and how they feed each other. If you wake up and you're feeling anxious, so often it's just our default that we start thinking, oh gosh, why am I feeling anxious? Well, because of this and this and this and this and this. Well, shoot, there goes the day, right? Whereas if you can catch yourself as you start to step into that loop and go, ooh, time out. Let me find a thought that nourishes a better feeling emotion so that I can attract and magnetize the experiences that I want to have today, that I deserve to have at a higher vibration, just because it feels better, serves you better.
Breaking up the loops is, again, just a profound way to make a change for the positive. Thank you. These tools, y'all, they're going to change your life. They really are. Any one of them will change your life, not to mention a whole book full. Lisa, the most important part or thing you want people to know about using their mindfulness to help with the fear?
So mine touches a little bit on Julie's. So mindfulness is living in this moment and not fearing the future and not fearing the past. And then miracles happen, right? Because we start to live on a higher vibration, like she's talking about. And I've noticed it. I've had it happen to me. So if we want to be successful, we have the ego and we have our higher self. So the ego says, oh, be nervous, be worried. So that's a lower vibration and we're not living in the moment. And that I call a belief system. And that's where the neurons start to fire. And they have a belief system from when you're just a little kid. like I was talking before. So say, for example, my mom worries all the time. Well, I'm going to take that on and I'm going to say, oh, I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. So I'll have a shopping list and I'll be worried. But if I start to change the neurons and how they fire and say, there is no fire, I'm going to just take one day at a time. I'm not going to worry about Monday or Tuesday. I'm just going to take it today. Then I'm not going to live in that low vibration, have anxiety, have depression. I'm going to live in the highest vibration, which is love. Then I'm going to be more successful because the law of the universe is cause and effect, right? So what I put out to the universe, you get back in return. So that's what it feeds off of. That's what I'm going to attract. The people that are going to be in my world, they're going to fall off because they can't be in my world anymore because they're living with that anxiety. So even my business has started to change and become, I have 2,000 clients. I'm like, where did they all come from? Well, they came from my vibration. I don't live like that anymore because I changed the way I think. If we can do that, if other people can start to see that as a pattern, they can change the way they think. That's success. That is someone that's driven to success.
Yes, life-changing. We might have the same mom, by the way. All right, you guys. So I have one more question. It's an important one because of kind of state of the world right now. Shannon, entrepreneurship is overwhelming many days. What are some last words of advice you have for someone who might be having that kind of a tough day today?
Just keep trying. Just keep going. I think, I've had to do so many different iterations of things, so many different approaches. And there have been times where I've been like, I can't do this anymore. I'm not doing this anymore. But it just feels like ultimately, I think all of you have spoken to this about being in this vibration and your thoughts really kind of impacting what happens in your reality. And just that, like, even on those really hard days, like, it does always work out. It will always work out. You will always find something that sticks. There will always be a solution, even if it's not the one you thought it would be. But I'm glad that I, again, was like vulnerable enough, maybe crazy enough to be like, all right, I'll keep trying this, or I'll make this new course, or teach about this plant, or see if anyone wants to come to this thing. Hopefully they do. So just keep putting yourself out there. Just don't give up, I guess, don't give up. Don't give up on the dream.
I love that. I feel you. Maybe I'll try this. Maybe we'll just see this next, right? And because it beats the alternative of quitting. It beats the alternative of giving up. And it's a different vibe to stand tall in your worthiness and that perseverance, but also the trust of those beautiful messages that you're getting about the work you're doing in the world. All right, Julie, how about you? What are some words you have for the listeners who might be having kind of one of those days?
Yeah. One that I hold near and dear for me is it doesn't have to be perfect to be amazing. So many of us grow up as people pleasers and perfectionists, and we don't want to put it out there until we've entirely refined it and edit it and re-edit it and run it past 10 people and gotten a lot of validation, and just do it scared. It's never going to be perfect. But while you're holding yourself back, aiming for perfection, you're denying people the opportunity for healing in your what's good enough. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. Any recovering perfectionists in the house? Maybe a little bit. That's very, very good advice. Yeah. I mean, that's the one that I take back. I say it to myself a lot because the longer I wait and procrastinate to get the perfection that will never happen, the more I'm preventing someone from being helped sooner. And so if we can get over ourselves with that, we can be helping a lot of people.
Yeah, it's not about us. As long as our intention is pure, it comes from a space of love and a desire to heal and serve, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be good enough.
All right, Lisa, how about you? What's some last words of advice you have for people that might be having one of those days?
So if somebody's having one of those days, they're sad or depressed, know they're not alone. Know that they're going to, everything works out the way it's supposed to, that they are going to trust the process. There are other people out there just like them, and that things can get better. So they just have to kind of reach for a hand and find somebody that's like, I would say someone that's in the same space, but somebody else that can help them. I did social work and I have a master's, so I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be depressed. I know what it's like to be anxious, but I know what it's like to get better. And that is the key, is to get better. And you will. You're not always going to be like that. It is temporary. So there is the sun, there is the love, there is the other side. It's not always going to be like that. That's what I would say.
Thank you. Beautiful. All right, Michelle, you're going to give us the last words about this and kind of close us out today. So, it's a little bit overwhelming sometimes on this entrepreneurial journey. What do you want to tell people?
Absolutely. Thank you. I would say listen to your soul self. Your soul self is there to guide you and it's there to support you and it's never going to let you down. And then also go outside, because when you go outside, you're going to know you're not alone because you have all the little creatures around you, but you also have the wind and everything speaking to you. So you will know when you feel something greater than yourself outside that you're supported and you're going to be okay.
I could definitely end this interview with get your butts outside. Just a little thing about earlier today. I told you guys I took a little break and I walked out just for a minute, just for a couple of breaths. I sat down on the step in the front of my house, feeling that sun. And I heard we have a neighborhood hawk and it just cried. And like I walked out at the exact time they were up, and I'm just like, yes, I'm a bird person. So getting outside was fabulous for so many reasons, because I just got that little sign that, all right, you're good, keep it going, right? And all of you are saying that in so many words, reach out, keep going, don't give up, you got this. And thank you all so much. Julie, Lisa, Michelle, Shannon, thank you so much for what you do in the world and for being here today. Thanks, ladies.
Thanks,
So
Laura.
if you
Thank
guys
you.
haven't already
Thank you.
you're welcome. If you haven't already felt the vibe of this is way more than a book. This is a generous community. And you might have a question or you want to carry on the conversation that we started today. So drop down into the show notes, because everybody is hooked up there with their websites and their links. Go explore what these amazing authors are up to. They're there for you for that reach out. They want to answer the question. They want to give you the support you need on your journey. And of course, we hope you hop over to Amazon and grab your copy of this beautiful book, The Intuitive Entrepreneur. Lastly, everyone, remember, your words change the world when you're brave enough to share them. So it is time to be brave. See you next time, everyone.